Right, part four, the final part of my latest Q&A. Dollar Thief asks, can a dissident movement be successful against the globalist technocracy if it's primarily made up of people who do not recognize that we are engaged in a spiritual battle between good and evil, and not just some Machiavellian power struggle between two opposing worldviews? You're the way you frame that question makes it obvious where you stand, and I agree with you. But I don't know. I don't know whether the majority of the dissident movement. I don't know if most of those who would consider themselves to be part of the dissident right are just don't believe in metaphysical good and evil, and just see it as a Machiavellian, Nietzschean, will to power kind of thing. I think there's an understanding, even among people who aren't necessarily religious. I think there's an understanding that there's an increased understanding, I'll put it that way, that what we are up against are powers, dominions, thrones, and principalities, as it says in Scripture. This power is rooted in something that is not that transcends this world, i.e., what could be called the demonic. I think there's more. I think there's generally more of an understanding of that now, probably than there was 10 years ago. I don't think there are that many, Richard Spencer types in the alt-right or in the dissident right who are essentially atheists and who just see it as a power, as a Machiavellian power struggle. That's my sense of things. So no, it can't be. I don't think you can be successful if you don't acknowledge the spiritual truths of the battle between good and evil. But I also maybe I'm slightly more inclined to think that dissident types, whether they subscribe to a specific faith, I'm not somebody who demands that everybody be Catholic or that everybody be Orthodox or be whatever, although I'm a Catholic myself, but I do think that it's necessary to have an understanding, the kind of understanding that you're talking about. All right. And the same Robert Simons has the same question about saying that it's bad to be alone, since I've been by myself for 9 years now. Yeah, I mean it's the bachelor life has its ups and downs. I mean, it has its benefits, it has its virtues, and it also has its drawbacks for sure. And of course the MGTOW guys would say, yeah, but with marriage, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And that is probably true. That is no doubt true in a lot of cases. But still, the loneliness is something that must be dealt with, must be acknowledged. Tony Jefferson asks, do you believe the ancient Israelites were Europeans, i.e. white? I'm not what's it called? Shoot, I used to know this term. Oh man. What is it? I can't think of the term right now. Somebody's probably shouting it to to their computer screen right now. But I've never been an adherent to that belief or philosophy. No. How do you feel about Monero? I'm afraid I don't know who that is. Maybe someone can educate me. Okay, Marcus the Blood Axe says, being a self-proclaimed cinephile, how do you justify contributing money to what has obviously become a way for them to push agenda, feminist propaganda, forced diversity, anti-male, anti-European propaganda? You know, I've asking this as someone who is a movie person as well. I've gotten this challenge before a lot. I mean, this feels like a familiar critique. I mean, I don't know. Like, you think that? Do you really think me paying a local AMC movie theater $9 to see a movie that looks interesting, you know, so that I can get out of my head, for 2 hours and feel the kind of catharsis that art can bring a person. I don't know what percentage of that $9 goes into the pocket of a Hollywood pedophile. Am I really depriving him of anything? I don't know. Like, if you think Hollywood is evil, and I do, I think Hollywood is evil. The industry is evil, but the form is not evil. And artistry exists within the industry. If you think that one is honor bound never to pollute one's senses with watching any movie, but you say that you're a movie person as well. So I mean, I don't know if you're criticizing me for contributing money. Like, how much money am I giving them if I pay with a damn movie ticket? I just think there's a overly purist type of perspective there. Something that goes a little overboard, in my assessment. If you don't like movies, or if you're so repelled by Hollywood that you just don't even want to go, and you'd rather do other things, that's fine. But I don't think my critique of Hollywood is less legitimate because I go to see movies that, I mean, if I'm going to see a movie, it's a movie that I would suspect not to be degenerate, that would not be pushing the kind of agendas that you're talking about. But then you might say, well, it all ends up in the same pot. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's one right answer to this question. I think if you think that, if Marcus the Blood Axe, if you think that going to movies, paying to see movies, because, I don't know, 0.005% of the $9 ticket that you purchased is going to line the pocket of some pedophile Hollywood producer or some screechy feminist in Hollywood, then don't go. But I just don't. I mean, I'm answering this question the same way I've answered it before. The Witch King asks, as a Catholic, what's your opinion on Jordan Maxwell and his work? I didn't know who Monero was, and I don't know who this person is either. Jordan, what's my opinion on Jordan Maxwell and his work? I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe somebody can enlighten me. If you want to shoot me an email, nephite17@gmail.com. You can tell me about this Monero guy, and you can tell me about Jordan Maxwell and his work, if you want to. Okay, Jack Darby. What is the best literature original to English? This is a question I've been asked before many times too. You know, I believe in the traditional canon. Yeah, I mean the ones you list: the King James Bible, Shakespeare, Joseph Conrad, Flannery O'Connor, Tolkien, and Lewis. Those are all. I mean, you could those are all great, and I could list many more. The best literature that is original to English. I mean, obviously Shakespeare would be up there. Obviously, others of the classics that I haven't read, I'm not as familiar with, would also be up there. Milton, Chaucer, I'm not as familiar with them. So anyway, Jonathan Paul, when are you going to review The Years of Great Silence? Jonathan, is this something you've written? Again, you could email me, let me know. Okay, final question. Indy Phantom asks, hi Andy, I always loved your mall videos, especially when you give impish security guards a piece of your mind. Thank you. We have lived to see quite a drastic change in the shopping mall space. I find the failing malls and mostly deserted spaces almost tranquil. Interesting. I am wondering what appeals to you most about it as a public space to do your work, and if you think they will make an actual comeback. Thanks for your enlightening content. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Well, where I live, there's one mall, the one that I got kicked out of for a time, is actually, I mean, it seems to be doing fine. It seems to be well populated. There's always a lot, there's always a goodly number of people, more on the weekends, of course. But, I guess they say, but there's another mall that I've been to that's the dead mall. I don't know if malls are just going to totally disappear. I mean, we still live in the real world. We can't just put on the virtual reality visor and just be there forever. I mean, I can't. I guess there are some people who can live like that, like the Japanese hikikomori or whatever they're called, and there are people who just temperamentally, are okay with never leaving their homes and just buying everything they need online. I'm not like that, and I think people like to get out and and walk around in a place that's air conditioned and that's it's in public, but it's still you still have the ability to be to have your own little space, but to have your own space in the midst of a public area, it's more stimulating than just sitting at your desk looking at the four walls of your own room. I find that's what works about it with me. Do I think they will ever make an actual comeback? I don't know. I think they're going to be around. I don't think they're going to just disappear. I think maybe we'll see less of them. But I don't see people just totally, maybe that's what, I know they want us to live in pods and all that crap, the WEF types, maybe want that to happen, but fuck them. I'm not doing it, and I don't think a lot of other people are going to do that either. Because people you have to get out. You have to get out, right? I get cabin fever really easily, and maybe I'm, on one end of the spectrum there, but I just think, people like to get out, and when you live in a place with really hot summers, like in the southern part of the United States, you want to go someplace that's temperature controlled. And so anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Thank you, everybody, for your questions, and hope my answers were at least semi-interesting, and I'll talk to y'all soon.